with LeBron James in town, but Paul George no longer in the picture, can the Lakers still create their own big three around LeBron James? What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA, and here to talk about the Lakers. And now that they have signed one LeBron James, what can they do to surround him with more talent, okay? Are they going to be able to get their guy in Kawhi Leonard? Are they going to be able to get other pieces? Well, I'm here to say that there is a scenario out there, or scenarios, I should say, that would let this happen. Now, there is a lot of sort of math here, salary cap work that would have to work, but it is feasible, okay? And I'm going to be bringing you guys that scenario of how the Lakers could get their own big three with LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Boogie Cousins, and surround them with other pieces like who they signed with Lance Stevenson, guys like JaVale McGee, and other veteran minimum players. But basically, they're going to have their own big three now with LeBron, Kawhi, and Demarcus Cousins. Now, remember, Paul George could have been part of this, but he decided to stay in OKC with Russell Westbrook, so more power to him, PG. Go ahead and beat the Jazz in the playoffs, win a playoff series, because you got unfinished business, remember. So let's talk about it, folks. I'm going to be bringing you guys the scenarios here. You're going to want to pay attention to the salary cap and everything, because this is going to, I'm going to try and make it feasible with the salary cap, of course, because people always throw out these unrealistic scenarios, and you got to take into account there's a salary cap for a reason. So as of right now, the Lakers are actually over the salary cap. Now, I know you guys are thinking, wait, if they're over the salary cap, how the hell were they able to sign LeBron James? Well, technically, LeBron James hasn't signed yet. He's just agreed to a deal. Teams can't sign till later on officially, or players can't. And so right now, the Lakers are over the salary cap because their current free agents haven't come off the books. Once the Lakers renounce those free agents, which means basically they're going to let them become free agents, then that salary sort of will be off the books and the Lakers will be under the salary cap. So we're talking about guys like Brook Lopez, who's expiring this year, Isaiah Thomas, who's expiring this year, even a guy like Julius Randle, who I will get to whether the Lakers should keep him or not. So once they renounce all those guys, then they will have that requisite salary cap space to be able to sign LeBron James to a max deal that he agreed to and another max player, and then we will see what happens. So that's the current situation. So let's go with the first scenario of a Kawhi Leonard trade, okay? So here's the thing. The Spurs have made their sort of price known. It's two players who are decent to relatively young and multiple draft picks. I'm thinking 3. And this is because of the potential offers that Philly had thrown at them, where Philly wasn't including Simmons, Embiid, and Fultz. Folks, this is what I said at the beginning. Kawhi Leonard's price is not going to be that high as people think, because you will never get equal value when you trade a superstar, especially one who is so hell-bent on going to a different place. And so people know that. They know if they don't get Kawhi this year, they can get him next year. And I mentioned this in my other video about the Lance and JaVale signings. The Lakers signed them to one-year deals, not just because obviously these guys are a bit of a head case and you want to not commit long-term to them, but also they don't want to compromise their salary cap space for next year. In case the Spurs decide to keep Kawhi Leonard, they can still sign him when he becomes a free agent, okay? So first scenario is trade for Kawhi Leonard. So what would this trade sort of look like, okay? Pay attention here, because there's a lot to this, okay? Obviously, the Lakers have to give up something to get something, right? But it won't have to be the entire house. It'll be a part of it. But I'm going to act under the assumption that the Lakers are going to have to give a little bit more than they would like, because obviously it would be great if the Spurs, asking price went down. But right now it's 2 young players, 2 ready to win now type of young players, if you will, and sort of 3 draft picks, okay? That's the asking price. So if we go along with that asking price, the Lakers would have to include who? Brandon Ingram. That's what this trade offer is going to start with. Brandon Ingram is going to be included in this trade offer. Now, I like Brandon Ingram a lot, but he is the most valuable piece, trading piece that the Lakers have now with LeBron James on board, and so he has to be traded. And it makes sense because he plays the same position as Kawhi Leonard. So if you're getting Kawhi, you don't really need Brandon Ingram, okay? So the Lakers would trade Brandon Ingram, And then I also think they will trade Lonzo Ball. Now, the reason I'm not including Kuzma and Josh Hart and these other guys is because, one, Lonzo Ball, his salary is higher being the number 2 overall pick. And same with Brandon Ingram, who is a high draft pick. And Kuzma and Hart are dirt cheap. They're like $1 million and change, okay, their salaries. So those guys, it would be smart for the Lakers to keep him. And I've been on the train saying that they're going to keep Kyle Kuzma because LeBron loves him. So I fully believe Kyle Kuzma is going to stay. So what will this entire trade look like? Well, the following trade, I believe, will be Brandon Ingram is going to go to the Spurs in this trade. And then it will be basically a 3-team trade because I feel like the Spurs will not want Lonzo Ball, okay? So that means you need to find another partner for Lonzo Ball because the Spurs already have DeJounte Murray. So let's get a team like the Clippers involved, okay? Let's get a team like the Clippers who are rebuilding. Lonzo, if he is traded, he can still stay in LA. So his, dad LeVar won't, curse out the Lakers for trading his son because he still gets to live in LA. And the Clippers just moved on from Austin Rivers. They have no longer Chris Paul. So there's a room for a point guard there, and they're rebuilding under Jerry West, okay? So the Clippers are going to be the third team here, okay? So the Spurs are going to trade Kawhi Leonard, who's making about $18.8 million. And they're going to trade Patty Mills, who's making about $10 million. So that adds up to about $28 million. Remember, when you're trading players, you have to get back the same salary that you're sending out, or just about, unless you're under the salary cap, okay? So I'm trying to make these salaries match here. So the Spurs give up Kawhi Leonard and Patty Mills, okay? And the Lakers will give up Brandon Ingram, who makes about $5.5 million. And then the Lakers will also give up 3 first-round picks, okay? 3, but 2 of them, will be the Lakers. 1 will be the Clippers pick, okay? And then the Clippers will get Lonzo Ball, and they will get Channing Frye from the Lakers, okay? Lonzo Ball makes about $6.2 million. Channing Frye makes about $7 million. And the Spurs, like I mentioned, will get Brandon Ingram, and now they will get Tobias Harris from the Los Angeles Clippers, and 3 first-round picks, 2 being the Lakers, 1 being the Clippers. So the overall trade would be Brandon Ingram, Tobias Harris, 3 first-round picks to the Spurs. So that meets their requirements, 2 relatively young players that can still win now, 3 draft picks. Lakers get their guy in Kawhi with the Patty Mills, who's going to help with the point guard depth now that Lonzo's gone. And then the Clippers get Lonzo and Channing Frye just to make the salaries match. So that would be basically the trade that will get you Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers. Now, the math there might not be exact, but give or take, depending on adding or removing a few players, you can sort of make this potential trade happen. And that is why I proposed it, because to me, it's the best case scenario. All 3 teams benefit. The Spurs get what they want. Lakers get what they want. And the Clippers too. And even a team like, maybe if you don't take the Clippers, you can even take a team like the Atlanta Hawks, who you could potentially send Lonzo to over there. So I'm just throwing out these potential teams, but this was a scenario that I could come up with. Now the next step is Demarcus Cousins, right? How do you get Boogie Cousins? Well, basically, you're going to have to renounce Julius Randle, which I mentioned you need to do that to create salary cap space. So you renounce Randle, you get his cap off the books, because with him not renounced, his cap is going to count against the salary cap. His salary will be on the Lakers' books, which won't allow you to sign Boogie Cousins, so you renounce him. And then Luol Deng, he's got one of the worst contracts in the NBA. The Lakers are still suffering from signing him. So because I feel like taking his salary and putting him onto another team is just going to be too hard, because you're just going to have to package another first-round pick with him, because no one wants Luol Deng at this point. He's washed up. We all know that. You're just going to have to stretch out his salary. So if you stretch out his salary, the cap hit gets significantly lower, and now you could still have about $20 to $25 million left to fit in a Demarcus Cousins. You sign Cousins to a short-term deal worth between that range, okay? And this is going to take some convincing for the Lakers to tell Demarcus Cousins, hey, listen, bet on yourself, sign with us. You're going to play with LeBron. You're going to play with Kawhi. We'll be championship contenders, and you can get your stock up next year. You're coming off the injury. We don't trust that. We want to see how you look. That's why we're giving you the short-term deal, but that doesn't mean we can't give you a long-term deal in the future. So you signed DeMarcus Cousins there for $20 to $25 million, because remember, the Lakers had 2 max slots, And so basically with the Kawhi trade, when you fit the salary in and then you renounce the rest of these guys, that's how the math would add up there. Now, of course, like I said, the numbers are not all exact, but this is basically how it would happen. And now basically you would have a lineup of LeBron James, a Kawhi Leonard, a Demarcus Cousins, and then you get to keep Kyle Kuzma, like I said. You get to keep a Josh Hart for bench depth. You sign Lance Stevenson. You signed JaVale McGee. You drafted the rookie Wagner. Patty Mills comes over from the Spurs trade with Kawhi Leonard. So that's basically what your roster is going to look like. Okay, you've got your big three, and you've got the rest of this bench depth. And, of course, they could sign other guys as well. But there you have it, folks. That's how the Lakers can get their big three of LeBron, Kawhi, and Boogie Cousins. So let's see if it happens. I really hope so. I think the Lakers need to go after Kawhi this year. I think waiting next year is just going to waste a prime year of LeBron James' career, and you do not want to do that. So let me know what you guys think about this. Leave a comment down below if you guys like it or not, or agree or disagree, and let's talk about it. Let's discuss. Make sure to guys subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and as always, thanks for watching.